guess I'm not exactly sure what my intentions are in doing this Forgeside Chat today. But we haven't had one in a long time, so this isn't gonna be a normal one. I'm just. What does it take to be a good smith? Are you a good smith? Are you doing the right thing? What do I need to do to forge this piece of steel? How do I make a coal fire? How do I start a coal forge fire? How do I do this? What's the right way for that? These are questions that are being asked all the time. And shit, I ask enough of them myself. And there's lots of outlets of information. Books, videos, lots of forums online and in different groups. And I don't know. In the last few days, I've gone through some runarounds with some pretty prominent. They seem to be prominent blacksmiths. And I make these videos, and I tell you, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. A lot of times I prove myself wrong, or I get lucky. And it seems like you guys enjoy those videos. People are telling me all the time how helpful they are, or they're telling me all the time how wrong I am, what I did wrong, or how I can do things differently. And it seems like a pretty constructive platform for us to exchange information, and of course, on top of that, I make money doing it. But I don't make a hell of a lot of money doing a video. I've done a lot of videos, so I'm making some decent money because there's so many videos. But there's a lot of work that goes into those. The return, well, it ain't like the pig project. I think this video's better than the pig project, just bear with me, because I think I'm going to get to some point. I don't want to just jump right to the freaking thing that's on my ass right now. But for a lot of us, the lucky ones, we have a mentor, we have a local group, and we have people showing us hands-on, spending time with us, one-on-one, apprenticeships and things like that. And then for the majority of us, I think, and from what I'm seeing, we're picking up a hammer, we're picking up little tools, pieces, parts here, and we're starting the journey down this path and seeing whether or not it's something we want to do as a hobby, second income, or more and more of us, hey, we're going to give it a go and start making something in this country or your country, and start returning or bringing back some of the traditional ways. Let's start getting to the point where if the shit were to hit the fan, we have some skill sets that might provide a little level of survival for the groups that will actually survive. So a lot of us are just doing it. Many of us are doing it because we need something. We need something to fill that void. And of all the responses I get out of my video comments, those are the ones, and the frequency of those are just amazing to me. I do this to mentally survive, and I think that's important. You may or may not detect from my videos, but yeah, and some of you guys know the whole story. It's about losing my job last year. It's a hit. You take a hit mentally on that. Changing to an entirely different way of life, financially and physically, not having that paycheck every week, taking all of that risk, the amount of effort to build something that might be able to support you, as in a shop and equipment and things like that. That took a tremendous toll on me. But the excitement was there still. And then I had personal issues that just totally, one of the main reasons that I chose this, one of the significant reasons that I chose this attempt to do this full time was because I had this plan. I mean, I'd finally gotten at a point in my life where I had a plan for a future, and it all worked, and that involved somebody else. I mean, you know the story about somebody else, and that person decided to bail, and that put me, you know, sure the relationship was devastating to me, but it just took the entire carpet out from underneath me, and that put me in a deep spot. But and then you don't know my history. There's lots of other things going on there. But my point is that, you know, quite literally, I don't know how else to say it, but I'm a motherfucker. No, sorry, I'm a depressed little son of a bitch, literally, clinically, to some pretty high degrees. And there's a lot of people that mention that, you know, they're in that kind of state, and blacksmithing gives them a focal point. I don't think it does for me because I chose, you know, it's my job, you know, so it isn't that release. I panned a bucket of material, I don't know, this week somebody gave me a bucket of material and I panned through that for an hour or two. That was my release. That took me away from this world. So everybody needs that, and a lot of you guys have chosen this. So, you know, in a lot of ways, it's your lifeline, but there is a point, trust me. On that note, where many of you guys, many of us, are trying to learn this skill of our ancestors. I don't know how many times I'm at a show. Man, my grandfather was a blacksmith. My father was a blacksmith. My great grandfather was a blacksmith. They were, you know, it wasn't that long ago, and this trade was something that people recognized. I mean, you were still dirty and smelly and all that, but they recognized you. You know, that's another thing in this whole change for me is, you know, I'm clean maybe 10 minutes out of the day. Right? I shower in the morning. By the time I get to the shop, you know, it isn't more than freaking 10 minutes and I'm already messed up again. It's just, you know, it's a totally different lifestyle for me. You know, I'm used to it as a child, but I'm not used to it as an adult. Anyway, that's a tangent. The point of the matter is a lot of us are in here and we're kind of using, for the young guys and gals, they're using blacksmithing as a form of passage, a rite of passage to adulthood. Be that male or female, you know, it's easy to say a man being a man, and it might be less common to say, you know, a woman being a woman in reference to this, and that's just traditional stereotypes that a lot of us still have stuck in our head, but in reality it's the same thing, to prove yourself. And the only reason you're trying to prove yourself is because you're not sure of yourself. Or the only reason that you're doing something that's so freaking difficult to really do well, like blacksmithing, is because it's saving you from something. Well, then there's some of us that are like, you know, I just need to know. I mean, I'm very much like that too. If I don't know something, I just need to friggin' know it. And so my point is that a lot of us are, I mean, I would say a huge amount of us, a very small select of us are here because we're going to make money on it. We're going to make a living on it. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's not an easy thing to do to stick to traditional principles and still make money on it. Few do, and few do very, very well. Most of us are here for another reason, and it appears that for a lot of us, that reason is to heal something in our minds. We're young people and we haven't decided, are we going to be good adults? Are we going to be someone that provides to our community, provides to our society? Some of us have been veterans and a lot, you know, it doesn't take much to, you know, it doesn't take a lot to put a person into a dark place. And for people that have had a lot, that dark place is, you know, it's a difficult thing to deal with. So again, I'm spending a lot of time leading up to my point. but I want to make sure that you know, in my mind, I see, because I see people over the world, and you know, in the YouTube, the world, commenting. Um, a lot of times we're here in maybe not a physical way, but in mental, emotional, social ways, our life depends on it. We need something to bring balance or focus or distraction. So, you know, if you think about, without thinking about that kind of stuff, blacksmithing is just a, you know, it's an ego macho. I don't care whether it's female or male. I don't know, what's the female version of macho? Macha, I guess, if you're Spanish, right? Macho, macha. It's this, you know, it's, you know, a lot of people get off on that kind of stuff, and they should feel good about themselves. But it isn't all that, and it isn't all professional. It isn't all I'm trying to learn so I can be a master this or a master that or feed my family. There's and I think those people that we turn to, I think they really need to, the people who have presented themselves or are offering themselves freely as role models, mentors, guiders, information sources. I think you have a much bigger responsibility than you understand. And I think you, from my perspective, I can't thank most of you enough. I mean, it's just a lot of it is just your time freely given. It could be the love of the trade, it could be the love of teaching, it could be the hope for America and or your country and getting back to our roots and or manufacturing. It could be a lot of reasons that you do it, and for the vast majority, it's awesome. But for a few of you, it's a chance to get up there and ruffle your feathers. Whether or not you're deserving to do that, whether or not you deserve to do that. I mean, you may be an extremely talented, extremely experienced person, source of information for blacksmithing. But just like we, as newbies, need to not get too cocky or, you know, start say, oh, we did this thing, so that's the way it must be, and offer that as proof and you know, move up too quickly and try to present yourself as, hey, I'm one of those mentors. Listen to me, Chandler will show you how to do things, because Chandler knows everything. You know, something like that. Don't listen to the old guy. They don't know shit. Hammer on this. All right? Make a railroad spike knife. We can't do that. It's our obligation to the craft. But at the same time, when those people, and I'm trying to be very diplomatic about this, and this is for the younger guys, not for, well, it's for both of you guys, I think. It's for me. So I'm trying to work through this mentally. Because I get a bug up my ass, and it's not like a challenge or something. It's a logical bug up my ass. It's like, wait, why? You know, like politics, you know, Trump and Hillary. And it's like, yeah, it's easy to say, bam, nope, bam, yes. But in reality, you got to back off and say, you know, I was saying this to somebody yesterday. I can't stand Trump, they say. He talks and I instantly don't like him. And it's like, well, there's got to be something that you like. I mean, he's not a murderer or rapist, something. And I said, well, maybe you need to just open your mind a little bit, and next time he's speaking, go in there and say, okay, I want to find the one piece that I agree with him on, or I can see eye to eye, or I can relate to. All right? Now you're not going to be, what's the word that everybody uses? You're not going to be moved to the other team. You're going to still not like Trump. But if you open your mind, you're going to be able to judge. Your decisions to hate him will be logical ones rather than just knee-jerk ones. that kind of thing. I hope there's some cohesion in this conversation at the end. My point, I lost my point there with Trump and Hillary. Us new people that don't know shit, we can't be pretending that we do. Now, pretending that, one way to pretend that you do is to tell people what they should do. And that's what, one of the themes I think in my videos, I tried to let you know, number one, I'm not sure I know what I'm doing. Number two, this may not be the right way to do it, but let's see how it works. I hope my videos come across as this is, most of them anyway. I'm not showing you how to do it, I'm showing you how I did it and go from there. Well, when you start asking questions on some of these groups, there are the mentors, we'll call them mentors. The mentors, they'll step forward and they'll start giving you good information. Well, they'll start giving you information. But then this is kind of where this video is going. Yeah, as us young guys, newbies, you can't just listen to them. I mean, when you find somebody whose personality and everything works, and they don't seem to be opinionated, they seem to be experienced, hands-on especially. I read a book, I watched a YouTube video. No, that's not the type of person I'm talking about. Somebody who's like, yeah, I did 20 years of that, or 5 years of that, or I tried that and gave up. And this is what happened to me. Or this is what I know about that, or I worked 20 years in this field. Or those guys, if their personalities are right, their character is right, definitely identify who they are, get the names in your brains, and move on. And I have a few that I give, but I'm not gonna do names today. And then you have the few that you can kind of see them right off the bat, because the first ones that answer that question, they answer it in as matter-of-fact way as possible. What's a hellfire made out of? They're made out of 1095. Well, you do some research and you find out, well, it may not be that way. Some are, next comment, right on the back. Some are 1095, some are W1. Some are this, some are that. Some are case hardened, some are mild. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? Who am I supposed to listen to here? All right? And this kind of goes back. I think I made the same comment in the freaking railroad spike knife video. I mean, I'm open to your opinion. I think they might be this. Now, they're this. And then if you question them, you're questioning my manhood, my womanhood, or whatever it is. Unbelievable. So the problem, and again, this is getting to the point. I'm hoping there's two audiences that listen through this. And you know what? If you don't listen, it's your choice. Because I'm not doing this for me. Because I'm kind of working it through myself, and that's the way I live. I'm by myself. I do myself, and I do the things that I go through life myself. Unfortunately, the first part was true, but sorry for you guys. Hopefully, two of us are going to walk away. So when somebody says it's this and that and this, and then you get 17 different answers out of supposed professionals. Now keep in mind, some of them some of your answers are coming from us, guys that don't know, but presented in a way that they know. All right. I feel really sorry for you guys. So I guess I'll cut to the chase. This video is getting longer than I wanted it to be, but it's cold this morning and I don't feel like getting started anyway. So I'm just going to bring you along, right? I'm going to waste let's see, there'll be about 3,000 to 5,000 of you who watch this type of video. So if I waste an hour, half an hour times 3,000, that's a lot of manpower. Holy shit. All right, back to the point, Chandler. For us young guys, unless you have someone you have proven confidence in, I did this, I made exactly this, and I did the same mistake you did, and here's how I fixed it. 100 times and then I did it 100 times and it worked. That kind of confidence, damn, and go. All right. A lot of you guys are using unknown materials, file rasp and coil springs and stuff like that. You can't be a person that knows for sure, because the steels change over years, and the type of car that you pulled the coil spring from, that kind of stuff. So they should be saying, well, you can't really tell because this and that and this and that. The file could be 100 years old, it could be 5 years old. They should, and in that case, they shouldn't say, this is what it is and this is how you do it. Because I don't think they could possibly know. They could say, when you don't know, or I've tried a few of these and they've come out a little bit different, and these are the things that I do to try to help me identify how to work this material. Lost my train of thought again. Find those guys that you relate to, and make sure you listen to them first. Read through the other information, because you know what? There's a lot of us out there hammering on steel that have experienced something, and that experience might be one of the 1,000 that you might experience in your unknown case. And it's not bad information to have in your head. Oh yeah, I water quenched a Heller file, and that's how I took the edge. Oil quench didn't take the edge, right? But at the same time, I high water quenched a herb chopper that I thought was a Heller file. I thought it was, but I don't know for sure. And the thing's cold. I'll tell you the story quickly. What the hell? My herb choppers, the ones where I slit the handle rather than draw out the handle. I had it all formed up, what I thought was a Heller file. Quenched it in the water. Everything looked good, sounded good. I walk outside, the piece is cold in my hand. Totally cooled down. Cold. And I'm in the sun just to make sure that I don't have any cracks. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, ping! I'm ignorant, right? I don't know these things. I didn't know that shit would happen. I thought if it was going to ping, it would ping in the cooling cycle, But no, this thing, it was ice cold, but it was cold in my hand, ready, I'm just sitting there, and I'm looking at it for seconds, 10, 15 seconds. It was probably 30, 40 seconds after I pulled it out of the quench. And I'm looking at it, and right there in my hand, the damn thing went ping. So you don't know everything. When you're working with unknown materials, you don't know. Anybody that presents that they do know, they're lying. Or ignorant. Or egotistical. So find the one that you do like. Find that guy that gal that is, everything he says so far has come true. And then take all the other information. My final point to you guys, and I'll go back and repeat this at the end. When you're messing with unknown stuff, which if you think about it, no two of our setups are the same. My forge isn't like your forge. I use anthracite, you use bituminous. You use propane, and you use this. You got a 1 burner, you got a 2 burner. I quench in vegetable oil, you quench in motor oil. In reality, even with known material, it isn't that straightforward. All right, what temperature? Well, you're using color. What color did you use? You know what I mean? So in reality, even the known operations, unless you're in the same environment, repeating with the same equipment, repeating with the same tools, same mental, visual observations, in reality, there's only one person that can know that answer, and that's going to be you in your setup, in your configuration. And when you don't know shit, it's a pain in the ass, because you're going to be fluctuating. Just think about it like this. You go ahead and make one knife. Turns out great. You turn around and make another one, thing cracks, or thing warps. Right? Same person, same material, same operation. All right? Always a variable in there. It might be your experience. It might be the temperature outside. It might be the temperature of the quench. So for somebody to say, bam, that's the answer. No. Especially if they're not there. My point for us inexperienced people is that nothing provides more definitive feedback than doing, and doing repetitively. If you don't know and you're getting 1,000 answers, like there's a recent post and a dude you got this unknown file rasp, 15, 20 different answers. Here's what you do. The spark test this, spark test that. Well, I mean, it's funny if you posted something on Facebook and said, I did a spark testing, guess what? It's 10 out of 5. Freaking experts would be on your ass saying, how the hell do you know? Spark test isn't something that you can trust. But if you turn around and say, I don't know what this is, they'll say, do a spark test. And you'll do it, and somebody will say, hey, that's 10 out of 5. What the hell? You guys, we are so screwed. All right? So, I think some of you guys understand what I mean. Listen to this poor kid, he's all getting all these answers, and I wanted to just give him a video that I did. I used Heller file, my local blacksmith, who I get my shoes from, just making little neck knives out of his files. He couldn't get them hard, and he gave me a file and said, dude, can you do me a favor? See what the hell you do to make it hard. And I ran through I didn't realize it was a 4-part series on testing this steel, to figure out, this is my method, just mine. What am I working with? Is it hardenable at all? Is it oil quenched? Is it water quenched? And what do I do with tempering and this and that and that? And in a previous question about Heller file specifically, somebody says, hey, what kind of steel's in a Heller file? And blah, blah. So I posted this video. Well, I got jumped all over by people I respected. And then people I don't know. And now that I know of them, I'm pretty sure I know what they are. But, I posted the video, and all of a sudden I'm an asshole. Well, they didn't use the term. But no, I'll tell you what was said. And I won't tell you who said it because I'm not going to give any names. I'm not going to tell you what group it was. He says, we know you're trying to increase your view count, Chandler. But answer the guy's question. Then the next post, as I read, well, it's 1085. No, it's W1. No, it could be mild. No, it could be... My video showed, I attempted to show what I do when I don't know for sure. And I took a piece of that friggin' file and I cut it up. No, I did a spark test, like everybody says. In quotes, expected. And then I sliced off a piece of that file and I brought it up to critical, quenched it in oil, ran a file on it. Wasn't extremely happy with it. I think even in that video I then went to the vise while it was hard, bent it, see how far it went, and before it snapped, if it snapped, I don't remember the video now, and then throw a little tempering heat on it and give it a bend, right? I remember I wasn't happy with the oil quench, so I did a water quench, sliced off another piece, used the same piece, what was left over, did a water quench, took it to the vise, snapped it, file test, I went through all that process, and then I turned around, so now we have an idea. I felt, in that particular case, that water quenching was going to give me the hardest material. Now, whether it be too detrimental on the knife, we didn't know for sure, so how are we going to find out? So I made a freaking knife. Went through tempering, and I went through a bunch of tests in the dang thing, and ultimately tested the knife to failure. I was hammering on a piece of, cutting it through a piece of mild, and I broke the end of the knife. Anyway, watch the video. It's Heller file or something like that. What more could a kid want to know about working with a Heller file than not know, but what more information would be something good for him to review? I'm not telling him anything. All right? I'm showing him what I did and how it worked out. I would think that'd be a handy dandy little thing to do. It'd be something that I'd watch. Well, anyways, this dude jumps all over me. I know you're trying to increase your viewership, but answer the dude's question. And then somebody else pipes in, and I say, well, I thought showing would be even better than telling because you can kind of watch it happen. And then some other dude piped up and said, what the hell did he say? Something like, showing me nothing teaches me nothing, or something like that. Oh my God. You know, and the problem is, the first dude is somebody I respect. I don't always take his word for things, because he's kind of, he's the first one to tell you what it is, and maybe not know for sure. And then all of a sudden this last guy pops up and he goes, thank you to the first dudes for calling a spade a spade. Well, there's a lot of definitions of freaking spade in this world. This last guy is the one I have the biggest problem with. Personal problem right now. The other two, but thank you for calling a spade a spade. And how am I supposed to take that, right? Turn the other cheek, Chandler. No, I've turned enough fucking cheeks in this world. I don't need to turn too many more. Especially dealing with ignorance. Well, I don't want to say ignorance. I don't know the dude enough to say he's ignorant. I don't want to say asshole, because that's kind of really in their face. Socially undeveloped. How about that? And socially undeveloped could be all sorts of things, where you're not confident in yourself, or you got a love me daddy complex, or you got to be the king of the world, or the know-it-all, or that kind of stuff. So I think that fits. Socially undeveloped character. And you know, how am I spade? I mean, there's an ethnic slur. Is he calling me something ethnic? Or a shovel? Or a car? I mean, it's like, oh my God. To me, it says, I said, no, the only thing that was being called is that I was a YouTube hoe. They didn't use those words, but we know you're trying to increase your viewership, your view count, Chandler. So, but why don't you just answer his question? So, to me, that's being called a YouTube hoe. And then, and then the video showed nothing, which obviously I didn't watch the video. That's the funny part. And then the last guy calls a spade. So I guess the spade that I be calling myself is a YouTube hoe. Or no, they're calling me a YouTube hoe, and he's saying, yeah, you're calling a spade. Okay. Now, many of you guys, don't take this as a gripe session. Take this as a, getting to know Chandler kind of thing, because you're seeing a little bit of my mental processing. 90% of you guys say, leave the ass. I'm only quoting. Leave the assholes, the armchair smiths, the freaking whatever, this. You got all sorts of colorful names from. I don't like you calling them names, actually, but that's your choice. Ignore them. Give us content. Give us something else. Give us something more. But the problem is, some of you guys are smiths, or up-and-coming smiths, or people that would like to one day call themselves a blacksmith like me. And you will be confronted by these socially undeveloped individuals. And I take the opportunity at this point, because I am mentally weak. I am suffering from major depression. I mean, it's just, I could do a whole video on that. Maybe I will someday. I mean, it's just baffling to me, because I've never been beaten by anything. And when you have depression, you are in total loss of control when it overpowers you. And that's very baffling to me. So, otherwise I'm hard-skinned. So because I have this, I'm having a little difficulty anyway. So I can only imagine what a young kid, or somebody who intelligently lacks confidence because they don't have experience. Anybody that isn't lacking in confidence when they do something new, I don't think is intelligent. You have to question yourself, right? Otherwise, you're not going to be answering questions, all right? So, for a young kid, somebody that just chronologically hasn't had the opportunity to become socially developed. Or for somebody who's, looking, they're kind of grasping, there's a lot of us, I've told you already in this video, blacksmithing saved my life. I was in this bad spot, and I was this, and I was that, and it is my one thing, that last string. And they turn around and be confronted by these socially undeveloped, I'm going to just keep using that term, people, especially when they attack you personally, like they did me. You can turn the other cheek and walk away. Conversation ends. There isn't 32,000 posts. You don't get the other socially undeveloped people taking the opportunity to lick up the blood drawn by the first socially undeveloped people. But what does the world gain? What does the next new kid or person that needs smithing or somebody that's really trying to figure this out and having a hard time, what do they gain when they read that thing? And maybe somebody that they watched a video on and kind of liked the dude, right? And all of a sudden, they're getting slammed and walking away with the tail between their legs when they're personally attacked. Not skillfully attacked. Chandler, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know what? You're right, and that's why I'm here. I'm trying to learn, okay? You're just trying to get your viewership up, and thank you for calling a spade a spade. When I post a video specifically on a topic, not saying, hey, here's the answer. Here's a good way to find out, or try. That's a personal attack. And I don't think anybody should need to walk away from that. I think sometimes you need to sink to their level and defend your honor. Is anything gained from it? Nope. Socially undeveloped people are there because they don't have what it takes to become socially developed. And it probably won't happen when you're dealing with adult people. I won't say males, but I'm kind of tending to lean that way. Adult people. But you didn't walk away. You said your piece. Use intelligence. Use words. All right? Use socially developed techniques. I didn't mean to cause this pissing match. I thought I was showing what was important. I don't think you need to attack me. Those type of things. I think it's time this world starts standing. And this is definitely an American question. It's time those of us who are socially developed, intelligence and ignorance are two different things. Ignorant means you just don't know something. Unintelligent means you don't have the ability to know something. In my mind, that's my definition. So, it's okay to be ignorant. Jesus. I'm freaking ignorant about so many things, it's not even funny. A hell of a lot less than I was 40 some odd years ago, I'll tell you that. But I am not unintelligent. And the minute I start acting unintelligent, I check myself. So, in an intelligent manner, defend yourself. Don't even hesitate. Take the low road and end it though, all right? You intelligently offer them some guidance to their lacking social development. Because obviously you're off topic by now. By the time this whole piss and match gets to this point, nobody's helping the freaking son of a bitch that had the question in the first place. Matter of fact, they're sitting there saying, oh my God, the poor guy emailed me. Right? He's like, dude, I don't know what's going on that thread, but, thanks for what you're doing anyway. Oh my gosh. Intelligently respond and then go ahead and walk away, which is difficult to do, but do your best. then go do it yourself. Return to those mentors that you trust. But always, and this is the final note for you guys, the young guys, us people who don't know what we're doing. I don't know if you can get a straight answer. You can read a book. All right, damn it, here's another tangent. I show a video showing something being done, and I'm a video hoe. But if somebody turns you to a book and say, hey, read that chapter, somebody talked about that, then it's okay. So that was another thing. It's like, damn, if I had a book, which I'm not capable of writing a book, but what I show in that video, I mean, that's, I think, a legitimate test. All right, forget that one. That was a stupid tangent. Go back to the people that you trust. Go back to the books. I mean, the old-timer books, all right? Then take the time and do it yourself. This last file RAS post was like, dude, I got this video. It shows you what I did to go through it. And I want you to, I think it'll help you. It might not tell you everything, but I'm watching you over days and hundreds of comments, going through Spark tests, and now you got 15 different responses, and that Spark test could have been done in seconds, and then you move on to some of the other testing. But I said, I really have this video I'd like you to see on testing steel. It might help you. I'm not telling you there's really no answer. Because I'm going to tell you what it is. It's going to tell you, it said, it's not going to tell you what steel it is, but it should give you more information on how to work it. But I said, I'm afraid to post a video because I'm going to get attacked for posting this video, rather than telling you that it's 1095 or O1. Well, no, maybe it could be W1. It might be mild steel case hardened. Do a spark test. No, you can't tell by spark testing. I ended up posting the video anyway eventually. Asking him, say, I want you to get the link. Let me pull it down. I don't want to make the socially undeveloped people unhappy and hijack your thread. Just do it. All right, take what you know, do it. Make a freaking knife out of it if after you decide what you think you know, and freaking test it. And when it fails, you learn something. When it works, you learn something. But you don't know yet. You just know that method that you used provided that result. You can't now tell everybody, oh, Heller files are all now 1095, because then you become one of those socially undeveloped people. So again, closing. Young guys, us people that don't know what we're doing, it's my opinion that you may find less guidance offered than you should be confident in, although it's out there. If you can find that one person, remember that person's name. Otherwise, especially when you're getting 17 different answers from 14 different people, that's when you got to say, okie dokie, I'll do a little research. I'm going to pull the forge out. I'm going to slice up. I'm going to test it. I'm going to do whatever it is that makes you understand what you're doing. I mean, think about it. And I'm not trying to toot my own freaking horn here. I'm sick of that bullshit. How many times have you been told railroad spike makes a shitty ass knife? Can't, with this same socially undeveloped person said, well, if you want a knife that you don't have to sharpen after cutting butter, then don't use a railroad. Even after all of this stuff. But anyways, for years, right, people have been slamming those things. We had to listen to them, and we had to say, oh, yeah, oh, shit. Oh. Nobody bothered to show us. Nobody tried. I did that one test. It's one test. It's just what I did. As a result of this, another one's coming. Damn it. All right, but at least you have a piece of information. I want to see somebody who's so eager to tell me that I can't slice freaking butter with it to go ahead and make your best knife and drive it through my freaking railroad spike. I guarantee you can't. Well, if you're the smith everybody says you are. All right? No, do you see anybody doing that? I saw a dude cutting through chain and stuff like that. That's friggin' awesome, right? That's proof, whatever that knife is. I don't know if we showed them building it though. Whatever that is, bam, that's good. All right? Do that. That information teaches us. Don't say it's a freaking can't cut butter when I can turn around and cut butter with it without having to resharpen it. Now what do I have to think about you? Everybody tells me you're intelligent. Everybody tells me no. Everybody tells me you are not ignorant. You are experienced in smithing. They don't tell me you're intelligent. But now I have to ask, are you socially undeveloped and unable to express the truth about things? All right, enough about it. You guys, listen, do your best, man. Just don't let it get to you. Like see, God damn it, there's always something else feeling to say. Don't let it get to you. When you are depressed, or you were lost, or you were trying to find your way, or you have just one little freaking thing, because you're sitting out there in the goddamn forge all by yourself, because you are not, accepted by society as you are, and this is your one piece that makes you feel good about you, because there isn't anybody there jumping out who understands what you're going through to reinforce you, and then you get slammed. It will get to you, and you will get upset. So I hope, maybe me getting upset, that's me standing next to you, maybe that vicariously we can go ahead and offer each other support that way. You are not alone. We're getting slammed all the time with misinformation. Opinionated information. No, I won't say it. God, there's a lot of guys out there who's offering information that's very, very good. 90% of them, 95% of them. You can always tell when you're getting 17 answers for the same question. You got to find your guy, and if that guy ain't in the list, you got to do it yourself. You cannot let them make you feel insignificant. Not insignificant. Incompetent. Ignorant. You already knew you were ignorant. If you weren't ignorant, you wouldn't be asking the goddamn question in the first place, eh? If we don't know something, we're ignorant to that fact. So don't let that bother you. All right? The fact that you knew where to go, the fact that you're not giving up, the fact that you're still there on a hammer, the fact that you want to know the answer, regardless of what kind of answer you get, proves that you're not unintelligent. Because only an intelligent person would ask and try and want that information. An unintelligent person would just assume, not try, and pretend they're right. Don't let it get to you. When somebody slams, if you are promoting yourself to be something you're not, and somebody slams you, accept it. You made a mistake. You got too big in the britches. You got kecky. Take your slam. Well, thanks for the check, and learn from that and become a more socially developed person. But when somebody slams you directly for nothing more than personal reasons, I like to pretend they're jealous. Not that I know more than them. But we've done an awful lot together, you and I, over these last 3 years. I've learned a lot, nothing like I wish I have learned more. A lot of you guys like me, or at least like the way that I show how things fail. I mean, hey, if we can't get a straight answer from you, you dumb asses, we're gonna watch somebody that we know don't know what they're doing. So at least at least we know what to cross off, bastards. I think they might. I don't know. They might be jealous. I think my whole railroad spike support thing, which I don't really support the railroad spikes. I don't like them. I do not like railroad spikes. They're fun to make, and I do some cool things with them. But I've told you over and over again, I'd never carry one. It just isn't right for me. They're not a shitty knife. They will cut butter without needing to be resharpened. Matter of fact, I bet you I could cut a few things without having to be resharpened. Don't let them get to you. You are not unintelligent for asking a question. You are not unintelligent for asking a stupid question. You might feel guilty for asking a question that you could have Googled in 2 minutes. So maybe you're not, you might just be a little lazy. All right, so sometimes you get that slam and you got to accept it. Yeah, you're right. If I had just Googled, where is Paris, I wouldn't have had to ask that question. But when you're asked a legitimate question, I'm trying to learn, I don't know, would anybody recognize this stuff, blah, 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 you're not unintelligent, even if they slam your ass. Okay? The problem is, after they get done with you, you are no less ignorant. They didn't teach you anything that you can claim as intelligence, information. Alrighty, so especially for you guys that are, we're blacksmithing is saving my day. It makes me feel like something. It's given me a community now I can relate to. Gets me off my goddamn chair. I've lost 50-pound slammer and sledging, doing a hammer. Gives me a reason to sit with some buddies in the barn and drink and talk and build things. Makes me feel like a man. Makes me feel like a woman. Makes me feel like I can get past what I saw overseas. Whatever it is. No matter these, don't let them take that away. It's still that. You just didn't know any more than when you asked the question. Do it yourself. Give it a try. All right? Final note. With the exception of one of these recent people that I've had encounters with, I don't have a personal issue with you. The first guy that brought up the thing, he's got a personal issue with me. I don't give a shit if you do or not, dude. I really don't. It's sad that you're in a position of authority and hijacking a pretty simple question to attack somebody who provided you with information that showed specifically how to deal with the exact material the person was asking the question about. Shame on you. And then to continue it, shame on you, because you know where these things go. Second person that piped in saying, well, a video showing nothing adds nothing. It's a 4-part video. The first part's called Steel Testing. It was a Heller file. I tried totally unobjective testing. I tested at the end, I built the knife, and I tested it till destruction. Watch the video, you dumbass. You sounded pretty unintelligent because the video does have information pertaining to the question using the specific steel the kid asked about. So the third point, the third guy, the one who said, thanks for calling Chandler a spade, spade a spade. Dude, all of a sudden I don't like you. I don't know who the hell you are. You could be a master smith. You could be somebody that, Jesus, I should really be listening to. I can no longer do that because of your socially undeveloped response to that thing. By the way, watch the video. You'll be embarrassed. Not that I did a great job. I show the steel. I test the steel. The same steel the kid was asking. In my forge, in my configuration. Maybe not the same he has. It doesn't really matter because you can tell him anything and his is going to be different anyway. It's sad. And then today. And this is what Club caused me to do this. Some kid had a ferry rasp. Unknown ferry rasp. I don't know what it is. Well, it's 1095, it's W1, it's mild shield, it's case hardened, do a spark test. Wait, spark test don't tell nothing, dude. I said, dude, I have this video where I use a file that I didn't know what it would do. Didn't know if it was case hardened, didn't know what it was. And I go through a series of tests. And I show what I did to kind of prove how to work it. But I'm afraid to post it. And that's why I did this comment. Because I turned around and posted the goddamn video. Because you know what? I am not afraid of socially undeveloped people. I'm not afraid of anybody, actually. I've gone through enough stuff where there's not too many things in this world, including leaving this world, that I'm very afraid of. I am afraid to have to defend myself on a thread where some poor dude or dudette is looking for an answer. And in that attempt to answer him, her, he has to, or she has to, read through 50, 60 socially undeveloped or unintelligent comments. I am afraid to participate in that. If you do see me do that, it's because somebody I think is not helping you or attacking me personally. And with that said, I will do my best to not participate in those things. If I fail, I want you to accept my apologies right now. I don't know shit. That's why I can't tell you shit. But I can show you what I did. And if I post a video link on one of your questions, I'm not telling you the answer. I'm saying, I tried it. This is what happened. Okay? So please don't think me egotistical. It's okay for you to think of me ignorant, because there's a lot of things I don't know. But chances are I'm not going to have a video to post if I'm ignorant to the fact. And I'm not there. I see some posts where somebody, a young kid will put, my first knife, and then 17 other people show knives that are obviously not their first knives. Poor kid. Congrats. Awesome job. Looks like shit. That's, hey, in my opinion, looks like shit. Try it again. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's not really nice, but here's what I mean. Look at me. My penis is bigger. Come on. All right, I'm going to end this right now. It's my rant. Maybe it's entertaining. Maybe you just spent some time with Chandler on a rainy freaking morning where he's too lazy to get off his depressed ass. And then maybe I'll do a video on depression. My depression, anyway, and my understanding of it. For those of you who are looked up to, and a lot of people like me, but I don't consider myself an authority. So I don't fit in this category. For those of you that are looked up to, or who are responsible for maintaining the information, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. It's okay for you to have yours. Just say, I think. I think it's this. Socially developed people would answer something like this. Well, you can never really know, or heaven forbid, I really don't know. But when I'm facing this situation, this is something that I do. And then post my fucking video showing probably what you would do in the first place. You all have a good day. You make sure that nobody slams your ass unless you were being unintelligent or socially undeveloped. All right? You go out there and say, I got myself a 1095 railroad speak. Unless you made it yourself, which is a new trend now. They can't argue the spike thing too much right now, so they're all taking, what did I say? Look what I forged out of a knife today in the fucking railroad spike. Now, Joey did it jokingly, but we got real people trying to God almighty. That's most of the problem right there. If you know what I'm talking about, good. If you don't, go ask your parents. Don't be presenting yourself more than you are, because you're going to get caught, because you don't know shit. And just because you know one, it's Just because you know one thing. It's like shit. When you don't know shit, when you think you know shit, God damn it, you eat corn. Then you don't know shit no more. That was pretty gross. Don't let it get in your way. You guys that are on the edge like me, fuck it. Don't let it get in your way. Stand up for yourself. You have a freaking right to. Especially some of you guys have been around as long as I have. All right? Stand up intelligently with words. Apologizing can sometimes be the best way to deal with a bully. I am sorry for my ignorance to the topic. I have some experience that I thought I'd share. But to proclaim me unintelligent is not right, because I will go do this and now I'll no longer be ignorant. Something like that, just don't over intellectualize. Jeez. This is the video that never ends. I don't want to go to work. For you socially undeveloped people, shame on you. You all have a good day. If you found this video helpful, educational, maybe even if you just found it entertaining, and you want to support me, you can jump back to my channel. There's a button on the right hand side of the screen called support, and it's kind of like a tip jar. You can go ahead and leave channel a tip for this video, and that'll help me make some more, I guarantee. Thanks for your support, as always.